We're all at good time. Wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. Hide your scars to fade away the shaker. Why'd you leave the keys upon the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to hide the scars to fade away the shake-up. You wanted to, why'd you leave the keys upon the table? You wanted to. I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die. I'll wake up, grab a brush and put a little makeup. Hide the scars to fade away the. Why'd you leave the keys upon the table? Here you go, create another fable. You wanted to grab a brush and put a little makeup. You wanted to hide the scars to fade away the shake-up. You wanted to, why'd you leave the keys upon the table? You wanted to. I don't think you trust in my self-righteous suicide. I cry when angels deserve to die. In my self-righteous suicide, I cry when angels deserve to die. My spirit, Father, into your hands. Why have you forsaken me? In your eyes forsaken me. In your thoughts forsaken me. In your thoughts forsaken me. In your heart forsaken me. Lost in my self-righteous suicide.
This is XboxEra. We're an independent, community-funded publication focused on providing the best coverage and discussion of your favourite platform, Xbox. With best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and awesome merch, XboxEra.com is your destination for the best news, reviews, and features focused on what you care about. With shows like the XboxEra podcast, headlines, and a whole heap of Patreon-exclusive content, we're proud to be an independent publication completely funded by you. If you value having an outlet truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. Everything XboxEra does is only made possible by the growing army of incredible Patreon supporters. Our MVPs and executive producers are all incredible people, but even more so are our grand benefactors, Croat56, Assassin, and Kevin S. All of this under the watchful eye of our lovely and benevolent CEO, Torn Raptor. If you want to become part of one of the best communities on the internet, head to patreon.com/XboxEra, where your patronage can help keep us alive for another month. Hello friends, and welcome to another fun, action-packed episode of XboxEra Headlines. The date today is July 15th of 2025. I'm Sticky Mechanico, and today Jesse and I are here to talk to you about all of the latest in video gaming news from across this industry. As a bonus for our wonderful patrons, we make audio versions of these episodes available for them to listen to in Patreon via their preferred podcast app. But if you're on Spotify, you can link your account to Patreon and listen to it there instead. If you want to become an awesome individual, an absolute legend, head over to patreon.com/XboxEra, where you can support us for less than a cup of coffee a month, which sounds pretty reasonable, I think, for all the content that we make. Absolutely. Cool.
Blimey.
Cool, blimey, governor.
You were
I'm
up all
tired
night
today.
playing a video game for review, which you'll have out tomorrow, called Ready or Not. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I shouldn't do accents. People get mad at me. But, John, tell me about Ready or Not.
I will tell you about Ready or Not. I mean, I can talk about it because it's out now.
Yeah.
So the publisher was like, yeah, sorry, we didn't get this to you sooner. I think it's more that we probably forgot to request it.
Yeah, I didn't request it until Friday.
But yes, we've got code. I was putting it through its paces last night on Xbox. I also have the PC version. So I already have some firm thoughts on the game. I would say to anybody that misses the more tactical days of Rainbow Six back on the 360, particularly things like Terrorist Hunt in Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2, let's bring back some fond memories. It is hardcore as fuck. There's no running and gunning. You are tactical, you are slow, methodical, and you have to think about things. It is deliciously good, actually. There's a few wobbles, there's a few things that I would say like,
he just shot this guy in the dick and the guys went
yeah, there's some AI hiccups, but when it kicks off, the soundscape, the immersion of what you're doing, it really works. And some of the scenarios are inventive. Level design's great. There's just like some jank in there. There's some wonky animations, some bits and pieces, but the core foundation of what they've made is very good. Very, very good.
It's interesting because there was lots of controversy around this game a few years ago because they were very, very edgy. They were happily courting it to try and make a name.
They were very edgy, right?
And now they built an audience up around that, and then they kind of went, oh shit, we can't actually come out on consoles unless we pull back on having like school shootings and other things that many would deem in bad taste.
Yeah, there are some things that have been cut to get through console verification and all of that stuff. But like, to my knowledge, some of the things that have been removed or reduced aren't like, I don't see the I'm going to get really mad about this on social media element of it, because like, as an example, there's a level that referenced a collection of images relating to a minor, right? But in the context of what the game is, a very real thing that perhaps police force do have to encounter from time to time, right?
Unless you're a powerful politician, in which case it gets swept right under the rug.
That's right. But yeah, they remove that, like that small piece of context, but otherwise the mission kind of remains the same. And it's like, in the grand gameplay sets of things, no worries. The cool thing I will say about this is the enemy AI, and in fact the AI in general. So there is a single player mode in that you've got 18 missions with the standard version of the game. There's some DLC and stuff that's available. You've got 18 standard missions, different combat, hostage scenarios, bomb defusals, other sorts of things. And the single player mode, you can go in and just do quick play with AI teammates, no worries, no fuss. But then there's a command mode where you are the leader and you have to make the combat decisions and you have to equip everybody. But if you lose someone, the morale of your team goes down and they'll be perhaps less aggressive or less on the ball. If you are always super aggressive and you're always going for headshots and you murder everyone and you choose always a lethal option instead of a non-lethal, your team's AI will become more aggressive and they will make more aggressive choices. And similarly to the AI, like if you are in the bomb defusal map and you defuse all the bombs, the AI that are holding hostages will realize and they will start executing hostages. It's like, so there's some really neat stuff there to chew on. It's 5-player multiplayer, just always against, there's no PvP. And yes, I think there's a good game there. There are some wobbles, there are some things I'm like, But I'll have my full review and thoughts out. I'm aiming for tomorrow, considering I got code yesterday and I couldn't get started because I was at a funeral until 8 p.m. I think we've managed. I think we're doing all right. But yeah, ready or not, it's out now on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. It's been out on PC for a couple of years in its 1.0 form. It does have cross-play, and I think this is probably the other biggest criticism, but I can't see a way to actually invite your mates on Steam. You can link an Epic account, but like last night at least, I couldn't see my PC buddies while I was on the Xbox version, and they couldn't see me. So I think there's some work to do there on the developer side to actually bring that together in a more holistic way beyond just randomized matchmaking, which, yeah, your mileage may vary. But yeah, there you go. That's ready or not. What have you been playing with your English accent and your voice?
I did a review. I was trying to look. There's a fellow in Twitch chat that said they've signed up for the site and are just waiting on approval, but I don't actually see it there for approval. So let me know if it's actually approved or not yet, because I went to go do it, because I know you're real now, and I don't see it. But I played, over the last week or so, one of the things that kept me from doing much streaming, and now there's just way too much to ever even think of it, Eriksholm, The Stolen Dream. I keep calling the Lost Dream in my head, and I don't know why. Super stealth game with some of the best low-budget use of Unreal Engine 5's metahumans I've ever seen, where I believe they're doing, it really looks like they're doing the full facial capture, where you have a camera just pointing at your face. And I remember the actress who plays Senwa showed it off at some Unreal 5 tech showcase stuff. And like you can just have a camera in your face and it just captures you perfectly. In this game's use of the metahuman NPC creation tools, fantastic. For the limited number of cutscenes, because most of the time you're in this 3/4 Diablo perspective, just doing stealth. Stealth, trying to get from spot to spot. It is great. Like it feels real good. It makes a lot of sense. And it's carried along by a story and voice acting that are really good for what I imagine like the scope of a project like this is. I tried to not spoil anything there. The mechanics change up, things are added to, things are moved around in really smart, fun ways over the, I think it was about 8 hours it took me to play through it. But I didn't go for completionist to find all the collectibles run, but that still got me most of the Steam achievements. And like most games, it was not available on console until launch. So I reviewed it on Steam, but I got like 600 FPS most of the time. So I'm guessing it's going to run. I mean, when
Unreal Engine 5 game.
Well, if you look at it, like they're not going super high res or like high, because you are really pulled back in this one. It pumps up quite a bit, and then the frame rate is set to 24 in the cutscenes, but to be filmic, at least it felt like that. But yeah, I think this will run just fine on Xbox Series consoles or most PCs. It literally worked on my little no GPU Copilot Lenovo laptop. Played it at like 50 FPS, no problem. So should be fine on consoles as long as it's not buggy. It's stay out of people's line of sight, take them out with various abilities. The main one being a little blow dart that knocks people out. But there's a trick where it takes like 3 seconds for them to actually pass out. And when they get hit, they'll turn and quickly look in that direction. So you have to be firing from like cover or from the dark where they can't see it. And then the moment anyone ever spots anyone knocked out, game over. But it's super checkpointed. So you just go right back to 10 seconds before most of the time. It's just a really good, well-made little yarn. Not 100% sure on the price, unfortunately. Because quite often with indie games, you don't get that until a little after launch, it seems, or at launch. But yeah, real easy recommendation. And Game Riot, no, we have not heard anything from Capcom as far as Gamescom goes. I have asked and looked into it because they did see us at Summer Games Fest, but nothing yet.
Yeah, come on, Capcom.
Yep. Well, if someone as big as Game Riot is saying they haven't heard from from Capcom, then I'm assuming because they said they're there with playable versions of stuff, unlike Summer Games Fest, where only Pragmata was playable. But, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon.
We're trying.
Calendar's really filling up.
Yeah, the calendar's filling up, so much so that we've had to make a bit of an executive decision.
Thanks to the generosity of our community, especially Kevin S. and Torn Raptor, among many others, we are able to add Staying for Friday as well.
Yeah, so it's placed us in a bit of a precarious position because we've got an Airbnb booked. They can't extend the day. So the likelihood is we're probably going to have to cancel the Airbnb we have, rebook a different Airbnb.
Could we keep the one we have and then just add a day at a different one?
Most people won't accept just a day because they can sell chunks.
How much would one hotel room be?
More than the entirety of the Airbnb for 4 of us, bear in mind.
Do we know anyone who will let us sleep on the floor of their hotel?
I think so.
Damn it.
And for privacy purposes and things like that, it's not the bestest.
One night.
We'll find a way. We will find a way. But yeah, it's only possible because of everybody's generosity in the subathon last week, which was awesome and great fun and made us all tear.
And now we don't have to ask people for money for a while outside of. Please join the Patreon, patreon.com/XboxEra if you love what we do.
That's right. All right. Alrighty then.
Let's dig into a news story where we then get to say we've got a lot more reviews coming this month because it never slows down.
Yeah, Game Pass continues its 2025 mega run of just constantly good things.
I heard someone in the industry yesterday say that this year Game Pass has been bad, and I almost had an aneurysm.
Yeah, I think pulling back and being a little bit more grown up about things. I think there are folks in this industry like that often get all of their games for free and probably don't really take into account how good it is for average Joe on the street who has fuck all money in this economy and probably loves Game Pass with a certain amount of fervor. But yes, July's Wave 2. Game Pass is adding some absolutely bonkers things. We've got first up, surprise, RoboCop Rogue City has gone Play Anywhere, which means an Xbox PC version is imminent to the Microsoft Store. And that did give us a clue that, yes, it is going to be announced for Game Pass. It's coming in 2 days on July 17th, ahead of the DLC for RoboCop Rogue City, Unfinished Business.
Which I will have a review for. Yeah, look at that. I might be making that today.
Boom.
I am. When they don't say you can't say that you have it, I will say that I've had it, I've beaten it, and I'm going to have a review for it closer to launch. Yeah.
Next up, we have the Muppet-style friendly horror, My Friendly Neighborhood. Yes, patrons, it has already been identified as a game I should definitely play when it drops on July 17th. So expect a Patreon Peeps episode as I dive into that game and find out what it's all about, being chased by some...
I want to join you for that,
Muppet
Peeps.
Folks.
Two-person Peeps will be good.
Then we have Back to the Dawn, which is coming to Cloud Console and PC on July 18th. I don't know much about this one. Do you know what
this
Back
and My
Dawn
Friendly... So Back to the Dawn and My Friendly Neighborhood were both PC only. This is them also being announced for console. Back to the Dawn is a furry prison game. A bunch of animals in prison. And I remember it was not that reviewed, because most games kind of slip through the cracks when it's like, oh, you got to focus on the things that people are going to actually pay attention to, unless you get a big Patreon. So I don't know that much about it, other than it has very few reviews, but the ones that are out there are pretty positive.
Interesting. Okay. Next up, we have PlayStack teaming up with the Abiotic Factor, which is a crafting survival game that's been on PC for a while. It's now coming to consoles.
Yeah, it's very light crafting. It's not grounded style crafting. It's you just have like an inventory and you make some stuff crafting. Not you're hitting trees or anything.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, no, it's they're going for the Half-Life 1 scientist feel. Like it's yes, Gordon Freeman, how are you? Like that's kind of the way everyone is in the game.
But yeah, we will will be working on a review for that one.
Mhm.
We will have Wheel World, which I got to play at GDC earlier this year. Is a neat little. You're riding a bike that's actually a ghost that has some legendary parts of itself that other bike riders have stolen, and you've got to travel around the world, beating them in races to win the parts back. It plays nicely and it's quite chill and a good vibe kind of game. We will have a review for that. That's
From our resident wheelhead, Fairy Empire.
Yep. Then we have Wuchang Fallen Feathers, which is coming out on July 24th. A bastard hard action soul.
Yeah, I played it at Summer Games Fest. It was not easy, especially there was a commander boss fight that Ursula tried to do, and she whipped his butt. We should be on the list, and we should have a review for that one closer to launch.
Then we have Grounded 2, which is dropping into game preview on PC, Xbox, cloud, etc. Starting July 29th. I can hopefully say that we will obviously look to bring a review if we're lucky enough to be included in any advanced coverage for that one.
It's Xbox, so we never know.
It's Xbox, so we'll do our best. And then lastly, we have Farming Simulator 25, which is coming to cloud, console, and PC.
And will be the most played game out of all of them.
Yeah, probably.
Mostly in Germany. But John, have you seen the entirety of what was in July?
When you look at it as a whole thing.
So much.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Like a ton of older great games, a mix of some newer ones, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day ones, including Tony Hawk, Abiotic Factor, Werewolf, Wuchang, and Grounded 2. Day one ports, which I think are also like a thing they track when they're putting things in. Like it's been a hell of a month for a service that everyone was pretending wasn't. Oh wait, you know what? I was told by PR that Abiotic Factor was console, so that's why I've got it listed as console here. But everything in that image says cloud, console, PC. Time to edit post.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to try and cover.
Yeah, and they're really pushing the Play Anywhere, even though Wuchang is not Play Anywhere. From what I can tell, it has, you can look at it on the store. It's got a PC version. It's got an Xbox version. Tends to happen with things that have been deals for a very long time. So it's not the norm anymore, but that's why it's kind of weird to see.
There goes my dream of trying to maybe tackle some backlog this month and get Outer Worlds 1 done. But yeah, I will try and start that at some point. Maybe that will be my handheld game for a while.
There. Updated.
So much to do. But thank you as always to everybody that's watching and supports XboxEra, because you know the fact that we're able to bring so many reviews across so many of these day one games despite being a very small yet passionate team is a testament to your support. So big thank you. Next up, we did mention earlier in the show that we are, of course, thanks to your generosity, heading to Gamescom in style to bring you all the latest and greatest from the show floor. And there is plenty, and Gamescom are certainly making a big deal out of it, as they've announced today via a press release that it's set to break new records this year. They've advised that there's 11% more exhibitors than the same time last year. The entertainment area gets an additional hall. The indie area is growing. There are more companies confirming participation. There's an esports offering. And obviously, we now have our first publisher reveal for Gamescom opening night live with Jeff Keighley, with Activision giving you the exclusive first look at Call of Duty Black Ops 7. It does look to be, like, certainly from our perspective, the number of emails and bookings and come see our game requests that we have had is dwarfing last year by at least a factor of 2. And
time. Like, it was middle of July when we started getting emails about Gamescom last year, and I started getting them in the middle of June this year. Like, it's been crazy. It
is bonkers. It is absolutely bonkers how much is going to be there.
Because you wanted to go, Gareth said, like, try and do 6 a day at the most, because getting around Gamescom is way different than Summer Games Fest. You could see 12 things at Summer Games Fest because they're all within 2 minutes walking distance at the most. But Gamescom is enormous, and while most of it is in the business section, even the business section is like 3 Summer Games Fest big by itself between the 2 floors. So
Yeah.
It's nuts, and also it's an amazing city to just go around and be in, so I won't mind getting an extra night to just hang out.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Gamescom itself runs for us media boffins. We get to be there from, I think, Wednesday the 20th through to Friday the 22nd, really, is where we're there.
Mhm.
But for the general public, where all the things open up, it runs from Friday the 22nd through to Sunday the 24th.
Yeah,
It
so
is a long day.
The company is normally really focused on Wednesday, Thursday, because there was no full public. There was the people who spent a lot extra to get in earlier. It really picks up and goes nuts on Friday, but I think there's just so many companies coming this year that they're all like, okay, yeah, we're actually booking out through Friday, because a lot of them were only booking out to Thursday last year.
It's gonna. I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of insane for me because I've got a wedding in Colorado the week before, and I fly out on the 12th. Go to the wedding. I'm not getting married, by the way. Don't worry. I'm going to my partner's sister's wedding. We fly back from Colorado. We're here for one day. We've got all of the ingredients to dye this mohawk green as per the target goal that you guys smashed for our subathon, and then we're flying out on Tuesday. So. A quick turnaround, and I'll probably be a bit jet lagged, but I can't help it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's one of my favorite events of the year.
And seeing Bash Video asking, is Xbox going big? As far as I know, they're there, and they were big last year. I imagine they took up like a third of an airplane hangar, almost half.
Yeah, it was the biggest one they had last year, and I expect it to be the same size this year. It is going to be because
I got a thing. I CC'd you on it. One of the games has 2-hour streaming slots, so you can go in and you can play against other people in this thing, and it's all streamed if you want. And it's interesting because it's a game I really want to friggin' play, but I don't care about streaming. But yeah, so the press area is like kind of in the middle-ish. There's 2 floors that you have to have a press pass or the developer pass to be able to get into, or creator pass. I think you can get in with.
Yeah. It's gonna be, man. It's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward.
Yeah, but if you've never been to the Kolonmesse, I'm sure I've said that wrong. Kolmesse. Jesus Christ, it's so big. Like to walk from one end to the other is like, I don't know, 45 minutes, if depending on the crowd. 2 hours, like it's so big, and it's just
the average distance I've walked while being at Gamescom has been 17 kilometers a day. So
I'm gonna have to buy new sneakers. Because my sneakers that I have now did it last year and did Summer Games Fest this year, where we walked to everything. So yeah,
bit brutal. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I did those last 2 years in just standard Converse, and my feet were fucked. So this year I have really sensible walking trainers. So I will be sensible and protect my precious feet.
Yeah, a lot of my day today is going to be, once I finish up the RoboCop review, is going to be hitting up all the emails and trying to book up Friday for us both, because still trying to leave Wednesday, Thursday open, because that's when the bigger ones tend to do more. Though maybe they're also doing Friday this year. Hopefully we'll find out soon. We've heard from the ones you guys would really care about. We should be good, but obviously it's not set yet.
Yeah.
They normally have more moving parts, so it takes them a while.
Yeah, but we're very grateful because like to be able to cover it is a privilege, and to be able to bring you guys the best of everything. And wherever possible, I will state, even though it will probably kill me and Jesse by the end of it, wherever possible, we will be bringing you not just written previews and hands-on and on-the-floor video, but if we're allowed to record, if they give us B-roll, we will bring you video content alongside everything we can. So we will be on fire. And luckily, if we need a thumbnail, we'll have our art and design guru Predrag with us. To just,
am I signing him up for stuff? Otherwise, he's gonna be really bored and waiting in lines all day.
Well, he's like very delighted because he just gets to walk in as press into the booths and just.
Yeah, it's like if there's anything he really wanted to see and play,
nudge him and ask. I'm sure he'll be like, "Oh, I'd love to."
Because we got the like 3 hours early at the Xbox booth, which was amazing because I went and saw literally everything I wanted to see in a couple hours, which would take you all the entire weekend to see like 3 things normally because there's so many people in line. I just walked right into them because it was only the press. Yeah, it was amazing.
I have to admit, like, as much as I love Gamescom, I love the coming together of the community. I love all the people I get to see. That, you know, it's very European comparatively to its perhaps American counterparts.
Mm.
But I have to admit, if I was a member of the public, I don't know how much I'd like Gamescom because it's so
I would really want to have one of those plague masks on with nice scents.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Once the general public was there, it's a whole different vibe.
Yeah,
it's hot, it's smelly, and people are very nice overall. Like, it was great crowd wise. The atmosphere is super positive, and just people happy to be there. But it also is about selling stuff quite a bit at the especially the area, because we had a table last year. Wish we had a table this year, but boy, that would we would have had to double our budget on the subathon.
Yeah,
and John would have not been able to do any work. Just that.
Yeah, it would have been the same, because having run UK Games Expo, which is tiny in comparison to Gamescom, I would not have been able to move. I would have just been forever there doing stuff.
It was cool having a home base and everyone to hang out in a specific spot, but it did mean that you barely got to do anything.
Yeah, that's not the case this year. There's so much I'm looking forward to getting hands on with. So, yeah, boy. All right, next up. As great as all of these wonderful things is, it's another week. It's time for another Microsoft dick move.
Now, this I would call a rake step if it wasn't a term used to death.
Dumbest of dumb. Microsoft employee on LinkedIn has been widely criticized for recruiting for a role this is where it gets even worse, based in graphics and design, because he is the principal development lead for Xbox graphics. And then he posts, hey, job roles available, blah, 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 message me. And then there's a nice little Xbox graphics design. Now, who can tell me what is wrong with this image? Any takers?
It's LinkedIn. It's not like Instagram or Facebook where you have to have an image. Mohammed, it's me making fun of rake step as a phrase. I hate the phrase rake step, but this is dumb because he's a graphics guy, and yet he's posted this very dumb image. Like, if this was just gray, I think people would have said, oh, that's probably AI. What a dumb thing. But the fact that it's got the monitor on the wrong side of the image makes it very clear it's a bad AI image. Because you should notice that when you're the head of graphics, and you don't have to post it. That's all. It's a dumb little story. It's not something I think John and I actually care about, but it's dumb.
It is dumb, but I think it just, all the times where Microsoft need to just shut the fuck up, this is just another, like, Jesus Christ, guys, you guys really do make things the worse for yourselves. And I'm saying Microsoft here. I could still like Xbox.
Yeah, right? when you're
Microsoft
hiring,
is a terrible company.
Yeah, when you're hiring for the company, when you post in public for jobs and stuff at the company, you're representing the company, and it's just not a great look because it's just such an avoidable dumb little thing.
For a graphics role,
I know.
Like, good lord, sir.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like,
as Denise says, someone doesn't care. They put 2 minutes of thought into it, and it's like, yeah, when you're posting in public right now around Microsoft, you just gotta be a little smarter.
Yeah, like, you can get 100%. This guy thought nothing of this. I'm just posting a job post on a professional message board. It doesn't really matter what this looks like. But, you don't, come on. The gaming industry has a very different understanding of these things. Like, AI slop is a target for you, and they will come for you, and they have. I'm surprised it's not been taken down yet. But equally, I did say someone point out conspiracy theories already that this was a deliberately bad one. And the reason they're hiring is because the last guy kept putting the monitor around the wrong way. And, I'm like, that's reaching. But yeah, terrible, terrible stuff.
It's just, it's silly dumb.
It's a dumb news story. But anyway, next up in news, surprise. Do you remember, Jesse, cast your mind back to 2020? We saw an interesting looking, very shiny in chrome, first-person shooter type thing called EXOMECHA.
Mm-hmm.
Surprise! We haven't heard anything of it since then.
It's been 3.5 years. It was like real early 2022 the last time they talked.
And they delayed, but now they're back, and they've got an update coming on Thursday, the 17th of July, over on their EXOMECHA website. If you visit that website, you'll be shown what should you expect from this new rebirth of EXOMECHA. Well, a new trailer, a wish list for Steam, Epic, and Xbox, a release date, an official Discord server, and then, interestingly, a Kickstarter campaign. I I don't know what that means outside of they probably ran out of money.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it looked really ambitious from what we saw of it in 2020. Really fast paced.
It looked really fake.
Is this going to be?
I always thought it looked really fake.
Success stories where the game is actually good at the end of this, or is this going to?
And
be
it's still only on Xbox. Yeah, much like Mecha Break. Xbox has the monopoly on Asian-produced mech games that have mech in the title. I don't know. But this was from what many consider their last not great game showcase in 2020, where multiple things now have turned out to not exist in some form or fashion, I guess. Looked cool. It was kind of like insanely fast, way too bouncy Titanfall. It is a free-to-play multiplayer game, for anyone curious. Like, it was always a free-to-play multiplayer game, just big, kind of empty environments, but you're running around on foot and there's giant mechs about.
They've got flying hoverboards and helicopters and big guns and giant
made an impression because it was so weird.
It does look really weird. But hey, you never know.
I imagine it probably will also look a lot better now in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
Because while this is interesting to look at, it's really basic environment-wise. And I think that's one of the best things about UE5 is how much better your environments can look by default.
They got their explosions down. They look pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know what to make of this. We'll see. Thursday's headlines will roll around and we'll see what happens.
You can tell
we'll
that.
Talk about it
you want to know how old that game was? The trailer attached to it by IGN on YouTube for Watch Next was premiere Lord of the Rings Gollum.
Wow.
When that was announced. That's how old EXOMECHA is.
Well, we all know how that turned out. Okay, EXOMECHA still coming back. Cool. Elsewhere in some interesting news, this is just a little interesting tidbit that one of our wonderful members of the team spotted with the lovely Chengas. There is a SteamDB extension that you can install to your Microsoft Edge browser on mobile. And this SteamDB extension isn't just any old thing. It actually helps you stop overpaying for games. Now, we're not advertising this. This is just something we've seen, right? So he went and had a look at it. We've got the article up on XboxEra.com. So he didn't know, and he writes in there, he didn't even know Edge supported extensions on mobile. So he grabbed it. And what it does is it highlights review ratings, player and game stats, and pricing. And it works on Chrome as well, because Edge is Chrome based. So you can grab it and check it out. But if you're a regular Steam user, it might be of use to you. That's it. Yep. There's no commission here, by the way. This isn't a sales bit. We just saw it and thought that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a neat little thing. Go check it out.
People are in the business of trying to save money right now for some odd reason. I don't know, it might be something about the economy being terrible. And any little bit that helps, especially if you like using Steam as a platform. I don't. I actually hate using it, but I use it in a very different way, where I am generally playing pre-release versions that don't have to have any type of stringent QA on them, and so they just friggin' break all the time, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah. There you go. What else? Nintendo. Can't go a week without talking about Nintendo, can we?
There's a lot.
There's some new reporting here from Rebecca Valentine over at IGN, as Nintendo rolls out new eShop publishing guidelines for the Switch 2 in Asia, with the goal seeming to quietly crack down on all of those terrible,
there's a lot of rip-off games on there. There's a lot of what seems like slop just quickly thrown together. Who knows how? Maybe AI. There's a lot of, I will take your game and I will essentially quickly recreate it in way worse fashion and release it with a name very close to yours. Because
capitalize on your success.
As far as we know, it has been reported in the past. Nintendo does not really look into the companies that release games on their platform. Steam really doesn't. Steam is like, okay, are you real? Is this game real? Cool, you're fine as a publisher. Unless people complain, we're never going to check into you, supposedly. PlayStation will do a little bit of due diligence, supposedly. Nintendo will do almost no due diligence, kind of like Steam. Microsoft actually really looks into it, which is why a lot of their games that we review, they're not ready in time, because Microsoft are the ones that actually like really focus on making sure things work and are legitimate. Even though there is a ton of smaller ID at Xbox releases, they have the ID at Xbox thing there to try and curate it a bunch and help developers out. So while it's annoying that we can't review stuff all the time, it does lead to less of these types of issues that Nintendo has been running into, and it's nice to see them finally try and tackle the shovelware issue, where people will call any indie game a shovelware, but there are very specific low-effort rip-off games that I would call shovelware that permeate deeply through Nintendo's platform.
And PlayStation, for that matter. But yeah, the new rules take effect on June the 5th, which coincidentally obviously was the Nintendo Switch 2 launch. And according to Rebecca Valentine, they cover a wide range of topics, including how games bundles can be sold, restrictions on sensitive content, i.e., that stuff.
A lot of booba games on Switch, but the bundles thing is interesting because the way to get any discoverability was to constantly rebundle your packages of games to be in the new releases. Just you would see the same shit in new releases over and over and over again in new bundles, because that was the only way to have anyone find your game.
Yeah. Other new guidelines include prohibitions against inaccurate descriptions of games. Nintendo say that it's prohibited to provide inaccurate descriptions of the contents of a product. It is prohibited to provide description of the content of a product as under development if it is not expected to be implemented in the product. So, yeah, they put a clause in there that basically says if you violate any of these new guidelines, Nintendo may refuse to sell the product, request revisions, limit the scope of disclosure by not displaying it on various pages, including the Nintendo eShop homepage, or suspend distribution on Nintendo platforms regardless of the reason. I mean, it's a good thing that they are doing this.
Yeah. It is weird to have this in conjunction with they're still not giving most third parties dev kits, it seems.
Still?
Because that also came out. Yeah, people are like, yeah, they're still not really handing them out.
It's a bizarre take.
It is really weird. But I also think they'd have a first launch, which I think most of us would consider weak if the Switch was a second console for you. But it's fine if it was a first one, because there's a bunch of games, obviously, you weren't playing on the original Switch that you can now play on the Switch 2. And some people are thinking they want to wait and then give dev kits and then have a bunch of stuff come out around the holidays to have a second, like, big wave of third-party ports. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Could be completely wrong. But they're a weird company.
I don't know how they might not be handing out dev kits like any old indie, but like they had a significant number of partnered third-party game launches. So to say that they're not handing out any is probably not quite. It was
supposedly like it hasn't changed since launch, where people were complaining about not being able to get them. That has not changed, is what I read.
Fair.
As rumors, insider stuff. Always take it with a truckload of salt.
Yeah. Elsewhere, Nintendo are discontinuing Switch game vouchers. This is something that the company announced a couple of days ago, I think. Was it towards the end of the week? I can't remember now. But they're ceasing the program on January 30th, 2026. And after that time, you won't be able to buy Nintendo Switch game vouchers.
It was one of the few ways to save money on new games, because it was like a little less than the normal cost of two $60 games, but obviously with them moving to mainly $80, either full or bundle releases, though DK is only $70, if memory serves. Yeah. Only.
I don't think a lot of people are very happy about this, but no one's going to do anything about it. So, that's the news. The end. Like, you will all grumble, much like the British public when it comes to anything that happens over here in this country. We have a big whinge about it, but no one gets off their asses and does anything. They're stopping it, and that's that. Your current and existing vouchers will still work up until the January 30th, 2027. So if you've got them, use them when you can.
I don't know that they work with Switch 2 games. They call it the Switch And you know how they are, where something's only called Switch and not Switch 2. So I'm curious. I don't remember them working with new games. I could be wrong. They also, it's really weird. Like, it is funny to look back and see how much people made fun of Smart Delivery. But they just said today, Square Enix Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD. There's a Switch version. There's a Switch 2 version. There's no way to go between them for upgrades, and even the save file won't go between them. It's weird.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Because we know there's an upgrade path and all that. I don't know.
Bonkers. I just wanted to call this one out in the chat. Denise.
Chout.
He said that, hey, earlier this week, Xbox allowed a Wipeout PlayStation 1 port, which was called like Ultimate.
Yeah, the light. Yeah.
Wipeout.
Mm-hmm.
I think Digital Foundry did a video on it, and that was just the original Wipeout running on a PlayStation emulator. So some slop does get through. Microsoft.
Oh yeah, no doubt. They don't. I mean, there's still 40 games releasing every week sometimes, so it's the quality bar isn't always gonna be the highest.
I think with it, but it's Nintendo and PlayStation in particular. You're talking about the two most popular console platforms. They're going to be the target because that's where the audience is. Lucky Xbox fans.
Yeah,
hey,
and that one was chopped off of the Xbox store quickly.
Yeah. Anyways, next up in more Nintendo news, Nintendo and Universal are planning a Donkey Kong movie. A copyright filing confirmed plans for the animation movie starring Donkey Kong.
Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong?
Well, yeah, I presume so, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have a cinematic universe for
It would be weird if it wasn't him.
It would be weird. But yes, it's just called, the copyright notice is Untitled Donkey Kong Project Motion Picture per Nintendo in Universal.
Shouldn't it be Untitled Donkey Kong Motion Picture Project?
Yes. Could it be called that? That's what it's, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it the other way. I thought you said Untitled Donkey Kong Project Motion Picture is what you said.
Yeah, that's what it says on the image of the copyright.
Could be the other way.
Donkey Kong Project, semicolon.
Oh, okay. You didn't put the semicolon in there.
I didn't say semicolon. Sorry, mate.
I forgive you.
It's okay.
Chris Pratt is Donkey Kong.
Yeah, it's just Chris Pratt again. Oh, either way, this is obviously all ahead of some sort of bonanza, as Donkey Kong is having his first new game in quite some time.
Nick wasn't patient enough, and he pre-ordered it. So I have requested a copy of Donkey Kong Bonanza for you, John.
Well, thank you, mate. I've got a Switch too. I'll check it out. But yeah, there are hands-ons out there if you're a Nintendo fan. And it was made by the Mario Odyssey team. So Nick will probably find it to be his game of the year, right?
Well, he might have already had it spoiled, John. PSA, Donkey Kong Bonanza has leaked. Nintendo, a company famous for barely handing out any review codes because they're worried their games will leak, have once again had their games leak in the exact same way as always. Physical edition in China has leaked. People have it. There are big spoilers. Not to make fun of the guys at VGC, but I did find it very funny that it said, PSA, Donkey Kong Bonanza copies out in the wild. Be wary of spoilers. I'm like, Donkey Kong? Gives a shit about story spoilers for Donkey Kong.
I know, right?
I guess maybe mechanics spoilers, because like I didn't want to spoil the mechanics of Eriksholm. And so if there's cool things that you can do later in the game in Bonanza, that could be annoying to find out early and not get that whole, ooh, amazing feeling. But like as far as story spoilers go, I can't imagine anyone would care. Nintendo doesn't do story. Like they really don't push cutscenes or anything like that. They've got a very basic story, and then they really focus 95% of the game on gameplay. That's why people love them.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's entertaining. But yeah, there you go. There's all your Nintendo news. And then to round things off, obviously, PlayStation, they've just had their Ghosts of Yotei state of play. It looks good. Very pretty.
Yeah.
If not, I feel a little uneven. There were some shots where I was like, okay, that doesn't look as good as the previous shot. But it's not out yet, so like let's cut them some slack, huh? But it looks really, really good, especially for fans of cool samurai stuff. And, as always, Sucker Punch have created a variety of ways you can play the game, including like a lo-fi beats type way, which looks cool. It's just as an additional way of enjoying it if you want to stick on a podcast and enjoy some lo-fi beats. So that's that.
I'm curious if they ever put the Legends version into this one, because that was a free update for the first game that people were like, man, this is so good and deep. It could have been like its own Helldivers-y level co-op release.
Another Gamescom thingy.
Yep.
Okay.
We are never-ending emails lately.
My inbox is frightening. So go see Yotei. Coming out soon. Get hype, PlayStation fans. And then, unfortunately, don't get hype. There are 14 games leaving PlayStation Plus if you're a subscriber in July, including Jedi Survivor, The Witcher 3, and UFC 5. So they're leaving at the end of this month. And the total list are UFC 5, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Top Spin 25, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, Wild Hearts, Ride 5, 5 Sword Art Online games.
Yeah, they really
Shinobi
knocked that.
Striker, Vacation Simulator, Back to Job, and Bug Snacks.
Man, one of the few good VR games they have. It is weird because all these EA ones, like UFC, Jedi, Wild Hearts, are just in Game Pass forever because they're part of EA Play. But they don't do the EA. Yeah, they don't do EA Play in PS Plus, so they have to get added individually, and then they go. Top Spin was terrible. I'm shocked that it has good reviews. I'll never understand it. Both Nick and I are like, this plays awfully. This plays really bad. Witcher 3, one of the best games ever made. I don't know about the rest of them. Bug Snacks was whatever. Vacation Simulator is pretty fun. But it's always interesting because they are consistently losing more games than they put in. And I remember when they did the relaunch, they were like over 700 games, and now they're in the 400s.
Wow.
It's been very quickly gone back down.
We've got a super chat from the lovely Sherez, who is just talking about video game leaks. And he says, not Insomniac. We can cover the leaks, right? So just a little jab there at the industry who clutched their pearls at leaking anything.
For a day. And then all talked about it nonstop.
Yeah.
Which was always the funniest part.
The real thing that people were saying, like, don't leak, is all of the personal information that got leaked from Insomniac. But anything game project related is fair fucking game. Unfortunately, them's the breaks. That's the job. All right. That's the end of headlines for today. There is no more video game news.
No, but there's way too much for us to keep covering. I'm going to spend my day doing the RoboCop review and then getting back to another game I've been working on. That I had one of the worst things imaginable happen. Where
because
I can't wait
for you to tell that story when you can.
I'm going to tell it now because I'm not going to say what the game is. But there's a process on Xbox where some companies want you to whitelist your console because they don't want to put the pre-download up ahead of time. And so they take your Xbox network ID and or your gamer tag for the PC side. The network ID is your hardware ID on this Xbox right here. So I sent that to them. It whitelists you, but it also means you have to play offline. The console doesn't have to be offline, but the game is considered offline, which means no cloud backups on the save. So when the incredibly rare thing happens and the game shuts down or something goes out or messes up while auto-saving and the file's corrupted and you're 30 hours in, there is no cloud backup for that save. So I lost 30 hours.
Oof.
But I knew what I was doing this time, starting back over again, because I'm an idiot and didn't consider that 30 hours enough. And I'm close to where I was after like 6 hours or so. More.
Mad. Is there and again, without naming this particular game, sorry. Mid yawn. I'm still tired from yesterday. I was up late playing, whether or not. Is there any content restrictions? Don't put footage in the review from this point onwards in the
there's the normal thing of just please don't spoil the story.
Okay, yeah, cool.
You know what's weird? Sense. There's a much smaller game that came in that's like, do not show more than 1 minute of gameplay, like very specific content restrictions, and it's a really small game that isn't the type that normally has those types of restrictions.
Yeah.
Oh, we got sent review codes review code offers for Back to the Dawn on Press Engine if we want it.
Oh, well, that's very handy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Press Engine. I did realise there is one more story that we probably should dive into.
Yeah, go.
I will do a quick note of the chat with Denise again. Tell me if I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Dennis? Should I just say it like that?
You've asked them before and you didn't bother to remember.
I am.
You have 100% have.
Did you talk about the EU Romanian vice president is in support for the Stop Killing Games movement? He's also involved in the Romania versus PlayStation court case. I did not talk about that, nor did I know that he was in support, but that is interesting to see.
It's going to be interesting to see how, because every company is against it, because they're all like, they know how EU laws go, and they know how countries don't really understand how games work. And they might put some really restrictive things that make it very hard to make games at all in the EU. So it's a thing I support and I hope happens, but I do hope that they eventually make it in a system where it's like, look, this single player game, if licensing is going to end, you don't have to have permanent licensing forever. Like John Wick Hex is
that's
no
the way
longer
to fix that stuff.
John Wick Hex is no longer on sale in a few days or a week or something because obviously the license is going down. So you can't force companies to pay for licenses to keep selling things in perpetuity. You can't force smaller devs to keep paying for third-party web servers for their, multiplayer matchmaking and stuff like that forever. But when there's a game like The Crew, and this is the one that really started, The Crew 2, always online, no offline mode. What it should be is like, do the Redfall thing, do the, make at least the PC version, if anything, but make it so that there's an offline mode in the games that could easily have one. And I say easily, and I know it's not easy, but they can support an offline mode. They're not a game that's only online in nature. They're games that have been ham-fisted online.
I think that will have the knock-on effect of making a lot of game companies reconsider, does our game really need to be online only?
Mm-hmm.
Can we do it a different way? I think that can only be a good thing. So it'd be very, very interesting to watch the movement and see what happens with all the legislation, etc., etc. Thank you, Dennis. I really appreciate it, and I will remember that is. I will not butcher your name in the future. I apologize. Last of the news comes from our good friends over at the Xbox 2 podcast, aka Randall 14 and Jez.
I have been talking with Jez quite a bit about that thing that broke on me.
Yeah. Jez, in a recent episode, he spoke about Fallout, particularly Fallout 5 and the future of the franchise at Bethesda Studios. I'm reading from Grant's article over on Insider Gaming. And he lent into the idea that Fallout 5 is all systems go as the higher echelons cancelled Project Blackbird, which was obviously with ZeniMax Online Studios, to make room for the post-apocalyptic series, which came following a massive round of layoffs at Microsoft. I
know people are arguing, like, there are people who are saying, no, they fired people for bookkeeping. And I do think for Jez, it's more, the way I took it was, it's more, they need to cut this. What are we going to cut? They're not going to cut Fallout. They're going to cut Blackbird because they had to cut some costs. And so they chose to keep the Fallout stuff in the works going over Blackbird.
Yeah. But yes, that's it, basically. Fallout 5.
It goes along with what Jordan Midler said when he talked about the future Fallout on the Friends Per Second podcast a week or two ago, that they've got multiple Fallout things in the works, especially after the show took off so much.
It's funny, I caught up with two developers last night who are actually cousins, directly related to me. And one of them works for a AAA UK developer, and another one has worked for AAA Sony development teams and is now back in the UK. I don't know what development team he's currently working for, but he has worked at some of the big ones. And we were just chatting about the industry. And one of them went to me, dude, what the fuck is going on at Microsoft? And then we were just chatting, and they were like, they were lamenting, much like I do, the death of AAA, or rather, not the death, that's probably the wrong word, but the way that in reality, the stuff we play that is AAA is stuff we played 10 years ago with a prettier skin on it in some ways. And the real interesting stuff is coming from outside of standard Western development from the AA teams that are pushing out AAA visuals on an indie game, or the unique indies and stuff. So we were waxing lyrical and just, putting the world to rights and talking about all the layoffs and stuff like that. But it was really interesting for me to hear from directly to developers that, don't often get to stick their head above the parapet and look at the rest of the industry holistically, because they're focused on what they're making for company A, B, C, or D. It was just super, super interesting. But yeah, some good convo nonetheless.
If only you were a journalist and you could do a good story.
I wouldn't because
I'm kidding.
It's based on just two single sources and their opinions, and it's not really news.
You have journalistic standards.
How dare I? Didn't go to journalism school or anything. On that note, okay, that's the true end of the show. Thank you very much to everybody for hanging out in the chat and joining us. We will leave you with these fine words from our sponsor, but you can join us again for another roundup of all the video game headlines on Thursday at the same time, and we'll be back on Saturday with another Xbox Era podcast. Until then, my friends, play loads of video games. Maybe even play a really neat looking card game that's about video games. I wonder if such a thing exists. We'll see you next time. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.
This is Console Wars, the card game. Featuring more famous video games than you can shake a stick at, Console Wars finally allows you to win a war you've been fighting and probably losing on the internet your entire life. Quit being a keyboard warrior with the warm embrace of anonymity to protect you. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect some of the most famous video game franchises of all time. Protect them with loyal and frighteningly dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry and claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your favorite video game making mega corporation needs you. Enlist today. Head to consolewarsgame.com. Pick up a copy of Console Wars, the card game, outshine your rivals, and prove that your platform reigns supreme. Out now.
Once I had a love, and it was a gas. Soon turned out, had a heart out of glass. Seemed like the real thing, only to find mucho mistrust, love's gone behind. Once I had a love, and it was divine. Soon found out I was losing my mind. Seemed like the real thing, but I was so blind. Mucho mistrust, love's gone behind. In between, what I find is pleasing, and I'm feeling fine. Love is so confusing, there's no peace of mind. If I fear I'm losing you, it's just no good. You're teasing like you do. Once I had a love, and it was a gas. Soon turned out, had a heart of glass. Seemed like the real thing, only to find mucho